Hello children, good morning. How are you all, my dear cadets? Okay, today we'll do the treasure within, okay, from the book It So Happened. So first the summary. Let's have a look at the summary, children. So let's begin. The Treasure Within is written by Nizam Ezekiel. So he's the writer. The lesson is about Mr. Hafiz Contractor, who is an eminent architect. Who's an architect? One who designs buildings. He was not good at studies. His inclination was more towards sports. So he liked sports very much. Also, he got punishments from the teachers. He was the leader of a gang and indulged in gang fights. So, on the advice of his principal, he started to study and scored just 50% marks in SSC. He took admission in Jai Hind College and then came in touch with an architect who was his cousin's husband. The architect realized that he was talented and asked him to join the College of Architecture. He passed the exams in first class and is today one of the most successful architects in the country. So this chapter is an excerpt from an interview between Mr. Hafiz Contractor and Mrs. Bela Raja. Hafiz Contractor has had unhappy schooling. He was good in studies in the first and second year, but he seemed to lose interest in studies from the third standard onwards. He was scared of mathematics and had nightmares. What are nightmares? Bad dreams are nightmares. So he had nightmares about mathematics examination. He often saw a dream of what? Of appearing in the maths examination, not knowing anything. Oh my God, what a bad dream. As a student, he was more inclined towards games and playing pranks on others. He was a very good sportsman and was the senior champion for many years. Also, he was the captain of the cricket team. He says that he cleared his examinations only by copying and cheating. Children, that's bad. Don't do that. However, in class 11, his principal called him to give him a piece of advice. The principal told him that he's a good student, though he never studies. He also told Contractor that until now he took good care of him, but now he will have to take care of himself. He urged him to study. The contractor followed the principal's advice and would only go for prayers, eat and study. So as a result, he scored 50% marks in his SSC exams. On being asked by Mrs. Bela that was he punished in school, he replied that he received caning almost every week. However, it did not affect him as he was more interested in playing. Not only this, he would also indulge in group fights and he was the gang leader. He remembers that one day when he was not in the mood to study, they played Chor Police for 1 whole hour. Oh my God. After school, he wished to join the army. But his aunt and mother did not let him join. Even the police, with some influence, he got admission in the Jai Hind College. There he was supposed to study French, but being weak in French, he took the help of his cousin. Her husband was an architect, and eventually he started going to his office in order to learn French. One day he saw an employee drawing a window detail, which is a very advanced drawing. Looking at it, he told him that this drawing was wrong, as the window drawn will not open. He won the bet, and his cousin's husband asked him to draw a few specific things. He did that immediately. The architect got highly impressed by this and asked him to study architecture. In the college for architecture, only students with 80 to 90% marks were admitted. The principal allowed him to appear for the entrance exam with the condition that if he does not do well, he will not be allowed to join. So that was the condition. He got an A+ grade, and after that, he always got first class throughout. After he became an architect, he went to see Mrs. Gupta, his teacher, who had once told him to become an architect. He says that school life made him street smart. He closely observes a client to understand his taste and then makes a sketch spontaneously. That means it comes from within him. According to him, his sketches are his mathematics. Good. So that's about the poet Nazim Ezekiel. He was born on 16 December 1924 in Bombay Presidency. Died 9th January 2004, Mumbai. Awards Padma Shri. Education, University of Mumbai, Birkbeck, University of London, Wilson College. So look at the picture. Here's Nazim Ezekiel, okay? He has written the story, The Treasure Within. So that's a picture of Nazim Ezekiel, the writer. Okay, so let's begin. This is one of the unusual stories of an eminent architect. He has taken the notion of success beyond description. He had no inclination towards studies. He was good at sports and has focused on leaving various aspects that helped him in his profession. So he was a good architect, good at drawing since his childhood. His observation, originality, and dedication helped him to excel in his field. Which field? Architect. He led an exemplary life for other students. The lesson is an excerpt from an interview between Bella Raja and Hafiz Contractor. So Hafiz Contractor was nostalgic when asked about his schooling and education. He had an unhappy schooling. He was not happy. He had experienced the worst nightmares. He had bad dreams about maths examination. He didn't like that subject, which disappeared with time. He revealed that he lost interest in studies when he reached the 3rd standard. He cheated in exams, and his interest was only games. The life-changing moment came to his life when his principal called him up. He reprimanded him, means scolded him, punished him for being a careless boy, whose only support was his mother. Before that, he was a good sportsman, champion, and cricket captain. But after that, he no longer came out to fields. Hafiz recalled his school memories in his reminiscences. He was caned by his teacher. He enjoyed funny pranks, playing games, watching movies. He was the leader of his gang. He was indulged in gang fights. He indulged in gang fights and all that. His textbooks were in much demand for sale, as he rarely opens his book until exams. On asking about his advent in the field of architecture, he wanted to join the army, got the joining letter, but to his distress, his aunt told it off. Mother and aunt didn't want him to join army. He was not allowed to join the police force, so he was given the option of what? He was given the option to choose between French and German. Although he learned French for 7 years, he knew nothing of it. So he opted for German in college. But after the death of his German teacher, he could either revert back to French or change the college. So he decided to learn French from his cousin, who was married to an architect. He visited his cousin in the architect's office to learn the language. The interviewer inquired if he changed his mind there. Then he answered that it happened by chance to him. He told her that in the architect's office, he saw somebody drawing a window detail, which was very advanced drawing and very difficult also. He observed that his drawing was faulty and suggested that it would not open, the window would not open. So it's useless to have such a window. No use having a window which will never open. He then was asked to design a house. After seeing his designs, his cousin's husband asked him to join architecture. To recommend him, he went to meet his principal on condition to qualify the entrance. He was given a chance. And when he got in the entrance exam, he was given admission in architecture. He stood first class through his degree. He gave the credit of being successful in field of architecture to his schooling days. He recalled his competition with his friend Bahram Devecha. They compete in designing forts, guns and ammunitions. He also spoke about an incident when he was in class 2 or 3, where his teacher, Mrs. Gupta, assessed his drawings and sketches. She advised him to take architecture. That means what? He was good at drawing. Since he was in 2nd or 3rd standard. Later he visited her and told her everything. Mrs. Bella Raja interrogated about his issues with studies and curriculum. He replied that he was good at science and geography, but it came to languages and maths, he could not find any relevance. He did not like maths at all. He added that living in a boarding school was difficult. In response to a question about a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand, he said that position holders of his class were doing ordinary jobs. He further added that schooling gave him an opportunity to do things independently. He talked about his interest in other things than in class. He incited an example that in rainy days he would do what? He cited an example that in rainy days he would think of flowing water, dam, flow, hold of water and all that. He arranged a button from cutting of chalk as discipline and information in his school were viewed seriously. At the end, she inquired about his clientele. He told that he observes at the client's face, his clothes, other habits. He sketches spontaneously on a paper, keeping in mind the likes of his customer. He added that it is like mathematics because he could not on putting design, construction, psychology, sociology, sketching all together. Thus his weak subject became his instrument of success. So he got success in that. See children, this is the moral of this lesson. Treasure within itself. tells us that every child has a certain area of interest and expertise. Some children like mathematics, while some like English. They should not be forced to study something they don't want to. What will happen if a child is forced to study whatever he doesn't want to? He will not succeed. He will not do well in that. Yes? What important lesson do we learn by looking closely at Hafiz Contractor's life? Hafiz Contractor's life teaches us two important lessons. It first teaches us that it is never too late to decide to work hard. Yes, very true. In his 11th grade, when Contractor decides to work hard, he fares quite well in his exams. Secondly, his life also teaches us that we should not underestimate anyone's powers. Actually, the lesson, this lesson, Treasure Within, is based on a conversation between Bella Raja, editor of Sparsh, a newsletter from the Resource Centre, the Valley School, Bangalore, and Mr. Hafiz Contractor, one of India's leading architects. The conversation makes us realize what? The importance of being active in extracurricular activities in school and how the time spent in school builds the foundation of one's career. See, when you're small, then onwards you come to know what you're good at. See here, this man was good. Hafiz Contractor was good at drawing, painting. That is why he became India's well-known architect. Yes, and his school teacher had told him that you will be a good architect. But see, he was not interested in his studies when he was small. He did not take much interest because his field of interest was different. He was interested in sports, he was interested in drawing. Yes. So, he understood that if he becomes an architect, he will really succeed in life. What I mean to say is that every child is good at something or the other. So, children should not be forced to take up something. Yes. God has given talent to every child, and that talent must be what? Explored. Then you can become successful in life. Nothing should be forced on a child. Yes, otherwise what will happen? Children will not be able to do well, be it exams, be it any other field. Yes, children should be given options. They should be allowed to choose. And then move ahead. That will help them to achieve success. Definitely they will achieve success. And that is the lesson we learn from this story, Treasure Within. What is the treasure that is there within? There is some hidden treasure within us, within every child, So we have to try to find out what is that treasure and then move accordingly. Success will surely come to us. But not if things are forced on us. No, definitely not. Then children cannot succeed. So what is the meaning of treasure within? Treasure within refers to the hidden talent of every child who has his own style of learning and of course area of interest. It varies. Not every topper in the academics becomes an achiever in life. Yes, but for sure, every child has talent in him or her. There's hidden talent, yes, and he has his own style of learning, own area of interest. Some may be interested in painting, some in drawing, some may be interested in English, while others may be interested in mathematics. So it depends, But for sure, every child has hidden talent. Yes, that is the treasure within the child. So this justifies the title of the story. Okay, children, please go through whatever I have done in this session. Write down in your notebooks. Read, revise again and again. Thank you. Goodbye.